Life has a way of testing you not when you're ready, but when you're vulnerable. When your heart is already heavy, your mind is exhausted, and your soul is begging for relief. And yet, it is in these very moments that your true self begins to surface, not the version polished for the world, but the raw, real, unfiltered version that doesn't perform for approval or bend for applause. Because true growth doesn't come wrapped in comfort. It is born in discomfort, in uncertainty, in the spaces where nothing makes sense and everything seems to be falling apart. The truth is, every person you admire, every soul that walks with quiet confidence, every mind that carries wisdom beyond their years, has walked through pain that would have broken others, and they are not strong because they've avoided storms. They are strong because they learned how to stand inside the storm with rain in their eyes and fear in their chest, and still chose to move forward. And maybe that's where you are right now. In a chapter of life that feels unclear, unfair, unkind, where it feels like your best isn't good enough and your efforts go unnoticed. But don't let that fool you into thinking you are not progressing. Growth is often invisible, silent, and misunderstood. But one day you'll look back and realize that the moments you wanted to quit were the exact moments that built the foundation of the future you now stand on. You must understand that life will strip you of people, places, and comforts not to punish you, but to reveal to you who you really are without the noise, without the masks, without the distractions. And that kind of clarity can be terrifying, because it demands responsibility, maturity, and the courage to rewrite your story from a place of truth rather than survival. And while the world will often try to define you by your mistakes, your failures, your losses, remember, those things are not your identity. They are simply the ingredients of your evolution, the fire that purifies, the pressure that polishes. And if you can learn to see your setbacks not as signs that you're cursed, but confirmations that you're being called higher, then you'll begin to shift how you walk through pain, not with resentment, but with reverence. See, life doesn't reward perfection. It rewards persistence. The quiet kind of resilience that refuses to die even when the flame is down to a flicker. The kind of spirit that says, I may be wounded, but I'm still walking. And that energy, raw, honest, and relentless, is the beginning of every transformation. Because the truth is, nothing is wasted, not your heartbreak, not your rejection, not even your mistakes. Every piece of your story matters, and even the messiest parts are sacred when you learn from them. So let go of the need to have it all figured out. Let go of timelines that society tries to impose on you. Let go of the toxic belief that you have to always be strong, and instead give yourself permission to heal, to feel, to rest when you need. To start over as many times as it takes, because strength is not in never falling. It's in rising again and again, even when rising hurts. And please don't wait for people to see your worth, for the truth is, some will only value you after you've bloomed, after you've succeeded, after the crowd starts clapping. But don't build your life for applause. Build it on purpose, on character, on something so rooted in truth that even when no one's watching, you still show up, still give your best, still choose integrity, because that's where peace is born. Not from validation, but from alignment. And when life breaks your heart, and it will, let it break you open, not closed, because vulnerability is not weakness, it's the birthplace of connection, of empathy, of depth. And if you let every scar remind you of not just what you survived, but who you became in the process, then even your pain becomes beautiful, even your wounds become wisdom. And suddenly, your life, even with all its chaos, becomes a masterpiece in progress. You must never forget that courage is not loud. It's often a whisper, a decision made in silence that says, I will not give up, even if I have to crawl. And those who master this kind of quiet power are unstoppable, not because they have it easy, but because they've learned how to endure, how to adapt, how to transform adversity into fuel. And yes, life will test you with delays, with doubts, with detours that make you question your path. But trust this: what is meant for you will never miss you, and what misses you was never meant to stay. So stop begging for doors that have closed and start preparing for the doors that are opening. Because sometimes rejection is redirection, and loss is just the universe making space for something more aligned with your future. And above all, believe in your own power. Not the fake, ego-driven kind, but the quiet strength that comes from knowing that everything you've been through hasn't broken you. It's built you. And you're still here, still breathing, still standing. Which means your purpose is not yet finished, your light is still needed, and your story is still unfolding in ways more beautiful than you can currently imagine. So keep going, not because everything is perfect, but because you've come too far to quit now, because the fire in you is stronger than the storms around you, and because deep down, you know that the world doesn't need another copy of someone else. It needs the real, raw, imperfect, rising version of you.